After a long period of time we are back to our mastered tutorials, so today we are looking on the ways you can build up consistently on fc24. Without wasting much time, let's jump into the video. Are you tired of matching up against overpowered squads? Visit u7buy.com for cheap and safe FC coins on the market. Remember to use the discount code DRFC for 6% off. Check the link in the description. Before looking at some tricks and tools used to build up, you have to understand what it means to build up and how you approach it. To build up you have to keep possession, which means you have to avoid or dodge the opponent's pressure, dribbling for space and exploit it to keep the ball away from the opponent's pressure, or passing the ball to that open passing lane and find your player. So building up, it's all about keeping possession. Building up you have to consider these logics. 1. Watch and read the opponent's defender movements. When you play online modes, the white cursor represents the opponent's selected defender. When you observe the opponent's selected defender, you have to consider two reasons before taking any action. First one, is that defender approaching your ball holder? If so, then here you have to react fast and either turn away quickly, especially if the opponent is aggressive and overcommitting, or you pass the ball immediately to any of your available open free player. Second, what if that defender is just cutting passing lanes? Here you have to either pass to another open free pass and beat that anticipation, or you take your time on the ball and dribble around. Your players will come close to give you more options. 2. Is to keep everything safe. For example, dribbling, you have to sense the pressure angles and dodge that direction. We shall see how to dribble later in this video. Safe, it's not all about dribbling, but also passing the ball. Avoid passing to a closed passing lane. As we said, you have to keep eyes on the opponent's defender movements, and so here you can understand the situation. So these are the basic simple build-up logics. Let's see some further stuffs. Passing is the most used trait on any football game, so beginning with the short ground pass, this pass you press X, or A, on your controller, the ball is directed towards the feet of the receiver. This is the most used pass on the game, and so when building up it's crucial. The second pass is the lobbed pass, the lifted short pass direct to the feet of your player. This pass you press square, or X, on your controller. This pass is used in two different ways. 1. To beat the press, especially when that short pass lane is blocked. Here you have to lift the ball to find your player. Sometimes you have to use this passing trick rather than avoiding that passing lane. The second way to use that pass is when switching sides. Just aim towards the opposite side to any of your free players on that side. Hold the square button. You switch sides if you realize the current side is overloaded with the opponent's defenders, so switch side and avoid that pressure to open up more spaces. The third pass is the ground through pass. This pass is directed towards the space in front. You have to make sure there's some space in front of the ball receiver, and that receiver has to be in a forward moving motion. Then press triangle, or Y, aiming towards the space. But this pass is rarely used when building up, especially in your half. Another passing trick is the lob through pass, the lifted through pass. You press both the L1, or LB, plus triangle or Y. This works when that ground through pass lane is blocked by the opponent's defender. So here you have to lift the ball past the opponent's defender and find your player. It works most especially building up on the wing, because here you can get some space to use this pass. The driven ground pass, calling it the hard pass, you press both the R1 plus X, or RB plus A. This pass is used to get ball as quickly as possible to your player, because the ball passer hits it hard enough to generate that speed to move fast on the ground. But avoid overusing this pass when you're building up, especially in your half, because it has much room for errors. I'm not saying that you don't have to use it. Use it, but not as much as other passing techniques. Receiving the ball is one of the most important techniques to maintain possession on the game. 1. Observe the opponent's selected defender, and also the available space, then receive the ball in a way that you use your player as the shield. Just imagine as if your player is a shield, and he has to shield the ball, then receive the ball in that manner. Here, even if I don't tell you to receive the ball into the space, you will automatically feel it. And sometimes you don't even need to control the ball. The situation comes when the ball receiver is tightly marked. Here instead play one touch pass back. It's difficult to maintain balance of your player in these pressured scenarios, so pass it first time. Then dribbling. First of all, don't oversprint unless you have free space in front. Then dribbling. Here also apply the same concept of shield in the dribbling knowledge. your player is the shield, use his or her body to protect the ball. If you feel and imagine things like this, then it will be easier for you to dribble naturally without overthinking about it. So quickly on recap, observe the opponent's selected defender, how the opponent is moving this defender, feel as if your player is the shield protecting the ball, then the space, dribble for the space. To build up and maintain possession, you have to control your off-ball players. We have 3 ways to control off-ball players when building up. 1. The pass and move. Here you press both L1 plus X, or LB plus A. Here your player passes the ball, and after releasing it he moves forward. Another way to send your player forward, you aim the left analog towards that player, then tap on the L1 or LB, that player will run forward. When this player moves forward, he gives you more passing options. If you want to move forward consistently, you send your players forward. Here you will have some spaces because your opponent has to track those running players, making it hard for the opponent to apply pressure. Another way to control off-ball players is to call them short. Here you aim the left analog towards that player, then tap on R1 or RB. This player will get triggered and move towards the ball holder. This works best when you have no or less passing options. Calling your players for support gives you that edge to escape the opponent's pressure. These 2 basic concepts needs that combination to confuse the opponent. You send that player forward. If the opponent tracks that run, then you immediately call him short. Here you can build up consistently, beating resistance from the opponent. Here are some of the basic skill moves used while building up. 1. The ball roll, the most used skill move on the game. Here you hold the right analog to the left or right of your player, and you will see that ball roll animation. This skill move, basically it's just used to change directions while dribbling, and not only that but also opening up some passing angles. Another skill move is the fake shot stop. You first press circle, or B, then immediately press X, or A, don't touch on the left analog. Here your player performs the fake shot stop and face the opponent's goal. It's used when you want that immediate stop. If you find yourself sprinting and you want to stop quickly, just perform the fake shot stop. Another skill move is the fake forward and turn. This skill move you double flick the right analog to the opposite direction of your player. Here it's easy to change direction 180 degrees with low risks of losing the ball. It's performed under pressure to dodge the opponent's press and maintain possession. Those are the simple basic skill moves I personally recommend you to use when building up. There are a lot of skill moves, but these are the best skill moves with low risks of losing the ball. Building up against tough opponents, sometimes it can be very challenging, because they can read the basic build-up strategies, so you have to be unpredictable. To be unpredictable begins with your passing game, the rhythm. Don't always pass and receive the ball, because this is very predictable and gives the opponent time to react. So try to use one-touch passes. Use the tic-tac passing fashion to speed up your passing game to give no time for the opponent to react, for example switching players and closing up spaces. Changing the rhythm is not enough sometimes, you have to also change your passing patterns, and that's why I recommend you pass in a triangle passing pattern, visioning 3 players and try to be creative with them. Here you can plan steps ahead of your opponent. For example, if he blocks that obvious passing option, since at the beginning you were seeing multiple passes, it's easier to react and take another passing option quicker than when you just focus on one pass. Not only passing but also dribbling, faking directions is very important to escape the opponent's pressure. Don't always turn just because you're keeping the ball safe. Good opponents will read that and position the defender to the end point and win the ball. So you have to be steps ahead. Bait the opponent like you're turning to a certain direction, just for him to react and follow. Then immediately you turn away and go the opposite way. Let me tell you something, you have watched this tutorial and you will try to implement all the mechanics at once into your gameplay, and it will slow down your game, and you know it's difficult to play well when you're playing slow. So I recommend you re-watch the video, pretend like you have never watched this video, begin with the first mechanic at the beginning of the video. Implement the mechanics one by one, take one and train it for like 2 days, then come back for another. That's how they train. So that's it guys for today. We shall soon have a chance creation tutorial. Thanks for watching.